If you've ever looked into home security systems over the last couple of decades, you might have come across the name Monitronics. For a long time, Monitronics was one of the biggest players in the monitored home security industry. They weren't as flashy as some of the newer DIY brands you see today, but they built their reputation by providing professionally monitored systems across the US. In fact, for years, Monitronics was behind the scenes providing monitoring services to millions of households through both direct customers and authorized dealers. But here's the thing, Monitronics is no longer around under that name. These days, the company operates as Brinks Home Security. And while Brinks carries a familiar name that people recognize, not everyone feels that it truly solved the issues customers had with Monitronics in the first place. If you're exploring your options, it's worth keeping in mind that there are other modern home security alternatives out there. Check out the link in the description for one that might be a better fit for you. So, how did Monitronics become Brinks Home Security? Let's break it down. Monitronics was founded back in 1994 and steadily grew into one of the largest alarm monitoring companies in North America. They weren't small. At their peak, they were handling monitoring for over 1 million customers. Over the years, though, Monitronics faced stiff competition from newer players entering the market. Companies like SimpliSafe, Ring, and others started shaking things up with easier, more affordable DIY options that didn't require long-term contracts. This put pressure on traditional providers like Monitronics, who were known for locking customers into multi-year contracts with steep cancellation fees. In 2016, Monitronics acquired the naming rights to Brinks Home Security. For context, Brinks was already a well-known brand in the security industry, with name recognition that stretched far beyond just alarms. Brinks has historically been associated with armored trucks and safes, the kind of brand people instinctively connected with safety and protection. By taking on the Brinks name, Monitronics gained a huge branding advantage. Instead of being known as Monitronics, which wasn't exactly a household name, they could now market themselves under Brinks Home Security, instantly tapping into decades of trust associated with the Brinks name. The rebrand officially rolled out in 2018, and from that point forward, Monitronics began operating as Brinks Home Security. The company leaned heavily on the Brinks reputation to modernize its image and compete with both traditional providers like ADT and newer DIY brands. That said, a lot of the underlying business models stayed the same. Contracts, monitoring fees, and the overall structure didn't really change much. This is why many homeowners still feel Brinks is essentially Monitronics with a different name. If you're looking for more flexible options, you'll definitely want to explore the alternative I've linked in the description. It might suit modern lifestyles a lot better. So, what does this mean for customers? Essentially, if you signed up with Monitronics years ago, your service eventually transitioned under the Brinks name. The monitoring itself didn't change much, but the branding and marketing did. Brinks Home Security has tried to strike a balance between offering professional-grade monitored systems with modern smart home integrations while still holding on to some of the traditional contract-based models. Of course, opinions are mixed. Some people appreciate the Brinks rebrand and the credibility it brings. Others feel like it's still just Monitronics underneath, a company tied to long-term commitments that don't fit the flexibility today's consumers want. And if you fall into that second camp, don't worry. There are better, simpler, and more affordable options available today. I've left a link in the description where you can check out a strong alternative to Brinks and Monitronics that could give you more freedom and less hassle. So when you hear about Brinks Home Security today, just remember, you're essentially hearing the next chapter of Monitronics. It's the same backbone, the same monitoring infrastructure, but with a fresh coat of paint and a name that carries more recognition. Whether that's enough depends on what you're looking for, but for many homeowners, it might make sense to explore a newer and better option. The link in the description is a great place to start.